Hello, today I'm talking about what do you want in marriage? When you sit in that question, it's being able to sit long enough to hear what your body is saying, to hear what your heart is saying, what's the gut intuition saying. If you're in a marriage where you're not connecting, there's a lot of arguments, you're going through the same cycle, a cycle of one of you perhaps shuts down or one of you gets angry and then your partner reacts. And it's just that same downward spiral. If you keep doing that's painful. And so it's the questions that you ask yourself, what do you want in marriage? When I'm working with people and I ask this question, they tell me what they don't want. They don't want any more arguments. They want to stop the stonewalling. They want to stop the drinking, the just throwing abuse at each other, the blaming, I call it the blame game. Hello, Shelley. Just the nastiness that goes on in a marriage when it's starting to fracture. And what I mean by fracture is you're not connecting anymore. You're not talking from that heart-centered place that you used to when you first met. And then as the years have gone on, perhaps you're not connecting as much. So I'm sort of just painting a picture of perhaps a little bit of doom and gloom, and I'm not doing this intentionally, but it's sitting in the question of what do I want? And it's a question to constantly be asking. Just because you say I do to somebody, it doesn't mean, okay, I've got you now, and you don't constantly grow, thrive, and evolve yourself as a person and evolve in the marriage. So what do I want in marriage is a really great question, because in marriage, you're going to go through lots of different chapters. When you first get together, there's the lusty love, there's the dopamine hit, there's the whole imbalance that, your partner can do no wrong. You see them through these amazing glasses where they're just absolutely wonderful. Then reality can start to set in. And, in life there is constant balancing, isn't there? And it's, you may have a partner that's really energetic, but sometimes your partner may be lazy. You may have a partner who is fun, and sometimes they're not fun. Sometimes you may have someone who's honest and sometimes not honest. So what I'm saying is there's always each side of what goes on in a relationship. So when a relationship starts to go south, or when I say south, what I mean by that, when there starts to be a disconnect, it didn't just happen. It's been a slow decline, because as you go through the different stages in your relationship, look, a typical marriage can look like, the lusty love, 12, 18 months. You then start making a bit of a commitment. You live together. You then really start developing as a couple. You say I do to each other. Look, this is just an average couple. Not all couples are like this. You then may have some children, a house, and all that goes with it. So you go through lots of different stages. And what do I want in a marriage? I think is a question that needs to be asked all the way along in your relationship. What do I want? So if you're listening to this, you might be living in a bit of a problem at the moment. That problem could look like you're not attracted to your partner anymore. That problem could be you've actually got no interests anymore, or you get angry easily, or your partner gets angry easily, or you're both being very defensive. You're both neglecting the relationship, or you're both numbing down, or one of you is. And look, there's a lot that goes on in a relationship. But like I always say, a relationship is not here to make you happy. A relationship is here to heal your childhood wounds. And when you are being triggered, it's because a wound inside of you has been triggered, and that is your responsibility to look at this. So some really good questions. If you're sitting in a place and you are actually questioning, what do I want? What do I want in my marriage? We're like two ships passing in the night. We really don't have a lot in common anymore. There's no intimacy or very little intimacy. And when it is, it's just transactional. And what you have has gone. So the first question to sit in is, what is great about this problem? Because problems are an invitation to explore. And what I mean by that, it's an invitation to go deeper in, to get outside of yourself and stop trying to figure this out, and put your fix-it hat on and actually explore inwardly. What is good about this problem? What am I learning about myself? You know, what is great about the problem? It could be that you are learning to slow down. You are learning to be less reactive. You are learning to respond. You are learning that drinking every night is not good for you. You are learning that your nervous system is really much more looked after when you get good sleep. So what is great about this problem is perhaps it's making you reach inside instead of outside of yourself to find your answers. The next part of this, what is not excellent yet? So bringing it back to yourself and stop being in your partner's business because you can't change your partner. What is not excellent yet? Terrible language, isn't it? What is not excellent yet? But it is, anytime I've got anything going on in myself, I am constantly asking myself questions, because how the brain works is when you ask yourself a question, it's got to answer. This is why in coaching, I'm constantly asking questions, because you got to answer it and you got to keep digging. You got to keep deeper. We are a bit like an onion, and we peel layers back to get to know ourselves more and more, to get to the true self, the authentic self, not the self that you have created to be loved, to be liked. So what is not excellent yet? Sitting in that is you'll talk about what is not excellent yet. Oh, we're still fighting. We're still arguing. We're not connecting. So what is not excellent yet? You can be very good at answering that. So what am I willing to do about that? And it's not living in the hope that your partner will change. It's bringing it back to yourself. You know, I always ask clients, are you living above the line or below the line? And when you live below the line, you can live in victim and you can feel quite powerless. And for those of you who've had childhood trauma, that powerless can get activated by your partner. And particularly if your nervous system is really heightened and you're in the fight and flight, your nervous system can get activated very easily. So you're going to be very defensive. You're not going to be able to have any great discussions to actually get to a compromise or solve anything. So keep bringing it back to yourself. What do you want in a marriage? What am I willing to do to get what I want in a marriage? What am I willing to do? You know, and it could be, okay, I am willing to reduce my alcohol intake. I might just drink on Fridays, Saturday nights. What am I willing to do? I am willing to, I'm just giving you different ideas. What am I willing to do? I am willing to start exercising because I know how good that is. What am I willing to do is to create 15 minutes in the evening where me and my partner, we connect. What am I willing to do? You know, I'm willing to look at my anger. I'm willing to look at that bundle of friggin' baggage, my childhood stuff that I know I've just crammed away. What am I willing to do? I'm willing to look at the grief that I put in a box 2 years ago when my mum passed. If you want to have a quality relationship, if you want an intimate relationship, you've got to be intimate with yourself first and put the mirror up. We're really good at telling our partners what they should and shouldn't do. But like I say, get out of their business. Get back into your own lane. And what am I willing to do? You have to be the change that is needed in this relationship. You cannot look outside yourself in the hope that your partner will. And look, being able to have really honest conversations with your partner is crucial, but it's not with an expectation that they're going to change, because you cannot make them change. And I really talk about this a fair bit, in that if you are wanting a rich, healthy, really connected, strong, intimate, close relationship with your partner, you need to be that change first and to be able to have that within yourself first. And lastly, a really good question to sit in is, okay, well, what do you want in your marriage? Get clear on what you want. And then a question is, what am I willing to no longer tolerate? So are you tolerating perhaps a partner who's only half in, who isn't willing to do their own inner work? Are you tolerating a partner who speaks badly to you and criticizes you? Are you with a partner who perhaps drinks really heavily and you're hoping that they will give it up, but they haven't? Come back to, what are you no longer willing to tolerate? You know, a area that I see a lot in working with couples is inequality. And when there's inequality, there's a power struggle. And that power struggle can trickle through into the running of the household, the financial, who gives the go-ahead to sex. It trickles through into absolutely everything. So in coaching and in the counselling I offer, it's giving voice to both parties, so both partners have a voice and that they are able to speak from a really sovereign, strong, powerful place within them. And you've got to get really clear on what you no longer will tolerate and have a boundary around that. But all of this is no good if you keep all of this inside. And so it's being able to speak this out really honestly. And I know that that does take time. And particularly if you're used to keeping it inside. All right, I'm going to have to round up because I can yak on this subject for hours. I really do hope this has been helpful. But recapping, what do you want in marriage? Get really, really clear and really ask those quality questions of yourself, because if you're clear, then you can begin little steps to start articulating that out to your partner. So I'd like to leave you with a question. What is one little micro step that you can do in the direction of working out what do you want in your marriage? Anyway, on that note, the power of change is within you. See ya.